your emotions, your energy and motion that you unconsciously send out because of your subjective biases that you aren't aware of, that's coming back to you in the form of consequences, events, stimulus that you don't like. What do? You complain about them. You blame somebody about them. You look at every other factor on the outside instead of looking in the mirror and asking yourself, what did I have to do for this event that just came to me? Am I actually the one causing the effect, or is it just randomly happening by chance? This person's just being an asshole to me. I just got fired. Maybe I lost the deal. Maybe my bank account's low. Maybe I'm not making any money. Nobody's coming to me. I don't have any clients. Maybe I can't find love. I don't know. People have complaints about all types of shit. And they never seem to complain about themselves. They're never held accountable in their own perceptions, in their own biases, and what they're putting out. Like they forgot about the golden rule perspective that says, treat other people how you want to be treated. They just forgot about that. They didn't realize that the world values you how you value you. So you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You happen to do it every single day. Every day. You just keep doing it. Every day, over and over again. Wrong side of the bed. This is going to be a shitty day because you made it like that. But you say, it's my job. It's my coworkers. It's my boss. Or maybe it's just that you aren't living in alignment with your highest value. What you truly want to do in life. Who you really are. Being authentic. Being vulnerable. Being accountable. Being transparent. I'm just giving you an overview. I thought about these same things myself years ago when I was walking off PCH Highway. My ex-wife had just left me, rightfully so. She needed to get up and she needed to go because I wasn't anything worth being around. She left me in the parking lot in Malibu, California, and took the dogs, drove back home to her parents' house. And I was just, okay, I got to figure it out. And the first thing I did was, rather than get mad or get angry, I just kind of sat there for a little while. I was walking the streets for a little bit, and I just remember telling myself, you had something to do with this. Something that you were doing or not doing. You had something to do with this. Because she's only part of the world. And she's valuing you the way you value you. So obviously, if you're being put off on the side of the road, that's how you value you. And that's what I told myself. Would I want to be around somebody like that? Fuck no. I'm glad she did what she did. I'm grateful for that time in my life. To this day, there's no resentment, there's only gratitude for me being able to see what exactly I was putting out. And thankfully, I was going through a cleansing process at the time, taking my own herbal formulas. I did my own orgasmic power transformation cycle for myself. I was the first client of myself, which is why I understand how it works. And once all of the bad toxins, stored emotions in my fascia, all those things came back into my bloodstream, my inner environment was in chaos. My outer environment also became chaotic. Once I was able to then regulate myself and figure out how to build the formula to regain control and mastery of my emotions, did my life begin to stabilize? Did I begin to climb the ladder? And did I start to grow? Now I'm going to give you guys, first off, I'm going to give you guys a couple of insights from this book. It's called The Essentials of Emotional Intelligence by Dr. John D. Martini. It's an excellent book. And also I'm going to give you guys his value determination process. So how you guys can figure out what you value in life. and how to decipher and decide on what your own life tasks are. The reason people have such a problem in this day and age, in modern society, they have low emotional intelligence. They don't understand how to read their thought process, how to feel, how they feel, and what they feel. It's pretty sad. It's a pretty sad process. So we're going to get into this right now. All right, first off, we're going to say, what appears to be missing is whatever you were too humble to or too proud to admit that you have, that you admire or despise and judge in other people. Now, DeMartini put this in one of his chapters in his book, and I was thinking about this in terms of relationships. You know, I'm in a men's group. I love my guys. You know, they're very vulnerable. They're able to share things, and I'm always thinking of how can I help them. You know, how was I able to overcome things? And one thing I heard a lot of was not bickering, but almost like complaining about partners, failed partnerships, failed relationships. I used to do it. I had a failed relationship. I used to do it. I used to attract people who did the same thing until I realized that if I really want to not only raise my emotional intelligence, but maximize who I am as a person, I have to write down every single thing that I despise about my ex-wife, my former friends, my mom, my dad who beat me, or my mom who chastised me, or my siblings who bullied me, or I have to write down everything that is bad, every single thing that I can't stand about them. And on the opposite end, in the second column, write down everything, every single thing that I am grateful that they do, that I'm grateful that they are, that I'm grateful that they showed me. Because I have yet to admit that what they have inside of them, I have it inside of me. Now here's a problem. I'm giving you guys the game on why you don't want to move yourself forward. Because you are too damn afraid to admit you're a shitty person sometimes. You think you got to walk around here and be positive? Everything is positive. I got, you know, snowflakes and rose petals and all this kind of nice little fluffy sparkles and shit. That ain't you. You ain't like that 24 hours a fucking day. It's impossible for you to do that. That's like saying I inhale. And that's it. If you only inhale, you're going to die. You have to inhale. You have to exhale. You have to inhale. You have to exhale. You got to do both. It's polarized. It's positive and negative. You can't jumpstart a fucking car battery with positive and then positive and positive. You have to have both sides. You have to connect both sides. For whatever reason, people have gone to this deep end and they just see someone and they pedestal them so high. And they say, this person they speak so well. This person dresses so phenomenal. This person is so athletic. This person is just, they're so strong. And so you pedestal them. The only reason why you pedestal them is because you don't think for one moment that their hardware is in you. You just say, oh, it's this God-given. They have this God-given ability. You know, they probably put work in on that ability to make themselves whom they are at this moment in time. If you did the same thing to the level of efficiency that they did the same thing to, you just might see yourself in line with that person. There's the first problem. You are literally too humble or too proud. And I'm going to say most likely, you're too proud, proving superiority. So you're just going to say that I'm too proud to admit that I am just like this person. I think simultaneously you have every single trait of behavior inside of you. DeMartini, he studies for 47 years, he says, on human behavior. He checked every single emotion, every single expression, every single feeling, whether it's joy, happiness, fear, anger, envy, jealousy, whatever trait he found in an Oxford dictionary, he assigned it to every single human being. Because at every moment in time, point in space, you're an asshole. Or you're a pleasure to be around. I'm just telling you. It's like that. You can mask it if you want to, or you can just be honest and admit to yourself that everything that you see that's good or bad is also within you. So, the second quote I wrote down from this book talks about what appears to be missing. And this is a big thing that I'm seeing. People are in comparison mode. If you know anything about the orgasmic power cycle, transformation cycle, and how I talk about the mistaken goals, at the top, meaning at the crown, at your pituitary gland, at your third eye, which is at your pineal gland, these two mistaken goals, which at the third eye is competition versus community, and at the top, at the crown, is seeking approval. Now, why are these the two most important things? Because they're at the highest order, basically at the mind of God. And what they are doing is they are telling you to look left, look right, check your cell phone, check your social medias, check everything else everyone else is doing, and not look at what you yourself are doing. You forgot about yourself. You lost track of what you value. You lost track of what your vision was. You didn't even respond to your vision because you make an assumption that you have something that somebody else doesn't, or they have something that you don't have. Completely false. He says what appears to be missing are all the parts you are unconscious of and have disowned from not introspectively reflecting, masterfully governing, or balancing your perceptions, aka beliefs. Going off of Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about biology of belief. We're going to say that your perceptions, your beliefs affect your biology and how your body's working. Now, you think something's missing. Your money's missing. Your love is missing. Your camaraderie is missing. Your tribe is missing. Your community is missing. Your spirituality is missing. You think something's missing. Something. What I'm here to explain to you is the only reason why it's missing is because you didn't look for it. You didn't look for it. The first quote I just wrote down. You're too humble or you're too proud to write down in one column everything that you said you're infatuated with. Because people have infatuations, which is also awful. Think about infatuation on one side and resentment on the opposite side. If you're infatuated with something, you're chasing it constantly because you have to have it. This house, this car, this person, this food, this experience, this vacation. If you're resenting it, you are trying to avoid it. Which again, in a state of equilibrium that this universe actually is in, whatever you're attempting to avoid, you're going to attract. Whatever you're attempting to attract, you're going to avoid. Which is why you don't chase. If you chase something, it's going to run from you. That's just how it works, based on quantum physics. So I suggest you understand how manifestation really works. In order to manifest, you need to become the thing so that it can now be attracted to you. So think about this. What appears to be missing? This is a big problem because you're too proud to write down in a column all the things that are good about the person that you hate. You think that your ex-wife is so mean or condescending or disrespectful or she just doesn't care about you. Or you think your ex-husband, he's narcissistic. He's too strict. He's too rigid in his thinking. All types of things that you just write down one side. And because of this polarized perspective that you hold of this person, you're only seeing what you don't like. You never made an opportunity or took the time to go on the opposite end and see if there's anything that you do like. Simply by forcing yourself to write down all the good things of what you perceive as bad, you are going to balance out your brain. This person died. Maybe my friend died. Maybe my dog died, which 3 weeks ago, one of my favorite people in the world, which is my dog Jade, she did pass. And I had to overcome that within me by literally sitting down with myself and writing down all the good things that came from it, because I seemed so polarized that this person was so wonderful. And I'm not saying that she had anything bad, because she really didn't have much bad. But what it was that I was looking at the event of her not being here and me telling myself, this is awful and I can't move forward in my life. So what I did was, that same day that I had to hold her hand, paw, as a dog, and watch her transcend herself, I got on my bike later on in the afternoon and I rode myself to the gym, crying, everything, tears in my eyes, everything. I met, some of the guys at the gym, and I was able to share with them the experience, because I was sad. And I just told myself, just keep taking it one day at a time and telling yourself, finding the good things about the experience. It's not all bad. And I have to do this, because if I don't do this, I'm going to stay in a shell of myself and hide in the corner. You have to take upon yourself to masterfully govern and balance out your perceptions. It's not all bad when you think it's all bad. It's not all good when you think it's all good. And your brain does a masterful job of helping you to stay at homeostasis, so that you can't get involved in these infatuations. You can't get involved in these fantasies. Because if you get involved in fantasies that don't even exist and they're not even real, someone has to bring you back down to earth. And that's your brain. Think about positive self-talk. You're told you have to speak positive about what you want. You have to be positive. You have to walk around and hold a smile, even though everything around you is crumbling and all of this. And I don't believe in that. Because if you walk around, you're trying to fake positive the entire time, your brain's going to tell you a bunch of negative shit all the time, which is why most people are walking around here and their brain are constantly talking bad to them about them. If you focus only on the positive and attempt to block out the opposite side of you, your brain's going to have to push it through. And there's where you get this Carl Jung individuation, shadow work perspective. You have to integrate both sides. You cannot walk around polarized and say, I'm this wonderful person all the time, and act like something doesn't make you mad, something doesn't annoy you. You can't do it. That's not human. That's inhaling on one side and not exhaling. That's exhaling on one side and not inhaling. So, again, if you got somebody you got problems with, do the exercise I told you guys. Put a simple T-chart, 2 columns. Draw one side, great things about them, bad things about them. Put a line between them. Start listing out. If you find 30 things that are bad, you better search for 30 things that are good. And then do it for yourself in response to what you wrote about them. Because I guarantee that you hiding. You're not attempting to see those traits in that person in you. There's events that you have had, that you've been an asshole, that you've stolen time from people, maybe something from somebody, that you've been fraudulent, that you've undermined, that you've condemned. There's been times that you've done every single one of these traits. All you have to do is become aware of it, and I guarantee it'll change your perspective on the person that you're so angry at. Next one, when you elevate yourself and minimize yourself, when you elevate yourself and minimize yourself, or vice versa, you're not being your authentic self. So when you elevate yourself, you basically minimize yourself. And when you minimize yourself, you basically elevate yourself. It's a backwards perspective. Think about inferiority complexes, superiority complexes. People who are so sick and they walk around with their wristband. I came from the hospital. Oh, I broke my foot, or I broke my arm. Here's my cast. Sign my cast. I'm so important. I'm so sick. You need to treat me and hug me and give me sympathy. I'm sick. Pedestal me. I'm important now because I'm sick. I'm important now because I'm hurt. You have to give me all your attention because I need it. It's a backwards perspective. You may not think that this is real, but I'm telling you right now that this is real. If you probably go on the playground when you was a child, and you would see the kids come up there and they would say, I had to go to the doctor, and they be like, it's almost like Christmas time. I had to go to the doctor. I had to go too. I was sick too. I have my cast on my leg. I have my cast on my arm. It's like people are fighting for attention. It happens. You have it on both sides of the spectrum. So what you should never do is attempt to elevate yourself. Or what you never do is attempt to minimize yourself. Because we all got the same hardware. Realize this, we all got the same hardware. Everyone got the same exact hardware, same brain hardware. We have the same hardware. Now, how we construct that hardware with the software programs we put into it, that is unique to us. But the same hardware goes for every person up on this planet. Now, no human being can endure living in other people's values because it's futile and unsustainable. This comes down to the concept of mistaken goals. Now, I teach about this when I'm talking about the 7 mistaken goals. I'm teaching also about your life areas and also your life tasks. Now, Alfred Adlerian psychology, he talks about what? He talks about your life tasks. You have specific life tasks. Maybe it's love, maybe it's vocation, maybe it's societal or familial. And what happens is they're unique to you. The things, again, that you see based upon your hierarchy of values, they are unique to you. You prioritize specific things. What you cannot do is you cannot say, well, my mom told me that I'd be a good teacher. Or my mom told me I'd be a good lawyer. My father told me I'd be a good banker. Or I'd be a good doctor. So that doesn't mean shit. Did your heart tell you that, though? Because if your heart didn't tell you that, you're going to have procrastination. You're never going to want to get up to go do the thing. You're going to have resentment going to work every single day because your heart told you that you are an artist or you are a musician. And rather than you listen to your heart, you said, well, my father's values outweigh my own. My mother's values outweigh my own. Society's values outweigh my own. So again, I'm minimizing myself. It's not going to work. So eventually, you're going to get to a point of resentment towards everybody on the outside, only because you did not lock in and ask yourself, not the psychic. You didn't ask the psychic. You didn't ask the channeler. You didn't do a tarot reading. You didn't do any of that shit. You just stopped for a moment and you decided, I'm going to close my eyes, go into a stillness. I'm going to ask my heart. Because if my heart stops, which is the biggest battery that you have inside your body, your heart, which is holding positive and negative at the same time, simultaneously, every moment in time, point in space. It's not a pump. Your heart is literally a magnet. Your heart is literally a energy wave field that creates a huge field of energy all around you. That's what your heart does. Your lungs pump. So you're breathing and you're inhaling your lungs. Your lungs are the culprit. It's not your heart. Your heart is a valve that has 4 openings that passes through the spirit that you're pumping from your lungs all the way throughout your entire body. If you don't look at your own values and your own life tasks as priority and honor them, you're honoring somebody else. This is based on the concept of intrinsic value, which is literally what you value. Spontaneously, I can get up in the morning and I can do it 1,000 times over again and never get tired because I love to do it. I can paint all day, ride my bike all day. I can drive all day. I can read all day. I can cook all day. Extrinsic value is the opposite. That's, again, other people's values that you should not be living in. Why is that? Those are what people say you should be doing. What people say, how people say you should be feeling. What people say you should be thinking based upon their values. How they've injected their subconscious into you. Now all your habits begin to become their habits. Now all you are is a carbon copy of somebody else. Doing yourself a disservice. You can't be number 2 to somebody else. you can only be number one to yourself. It doesn't work like that. So rather than you kill yourself based on conformity, you raise yourself up based on uniqueness. You raise yourself up based on authenticity. And this is how you're going to get to a place of authenticity. Let's do this one. You don't need to get rid of one half of yourself to love your authentic self. This is equally what I just talked about. There's a book called Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, Napoleon Hill, W. Clement Stone. I love the book. It's a fabulous book. What I began to understand is that I can't walk around every single day unless I understand why I'm walking around every single day a certain way. If I don't know why I should be doing this, if I don't have the explanation as to the reason why, how does this work in the field? If I'm just doing it because somebody told me to do it, again, based upon somebody else's values, I'm just doing that. I don't know why I'm getting what I'm getting. I don't know what's occurring. Listen, and it's a wonderful book. I'm not putting that book down. Also, The Greatest Salesman, O.G. Mendino. There's several books. He talks about sales and business and how you want to have a great attitude. Earl Nightingale talks about that too. He has it's a recording, audio recording called Lead the Field. First thing he talks about is attitude. What I want you to understand is that you'll have a way of perceiving your own attitude, believing what your attitude is, seeing what your attitude is. What I'm telling you to do in the first two, which is to look on the outside and see the things that you don't like in other people and mirror them. Meaning I want you to mirror it and see it within yourself because you are getting back what you're putting out. The problem is that you do not stop exhaling. You do not stop feeling annoyed. You do not stop feeling anger. You don't stop feeling that. What happens is whenever you feel angry or whenever you feel annoyed, you get to understand why you're annoyed or why you're angry. You have to actually stop and analyze why. And I guarantee you it diffuses within about 90 seconds. Research says that all your emotional responses last up to 90 seconds. That means after 90 seconds, you're just faking it. You're just repeating the process just because you don't have anything else to do or think about. You didn't tell yourself where to go, where your mind to go. You just keep on repeating the same patterns of bringing back the past into the present. So now it becomes the present. It's not the past. It happened years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You got left, you got cheated on 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But for whatever reason, you want to talk about that shit today. Why? You didn't get over it. It still has a trigger, it still has a button, it still has an effect because you did not get over it. Maybe the person who cheated on you wasn't the person you were supposed to spend the rest of your life with. So maybe you should be grateful that the person cheated on you and you divorced them or that you left them, you got rid of them, so you found a new person that came into your life that was better. Or maybe that person was just a carbon copy of the next person and they were showing you that there was a pattern of behavior while you kept attracting the same exact person into your life and you didn't pay attention to it. You aren't getting the signals. The universe itself is attempting to make you authentic. It's seeing, how can I make you whole? How can I make you neutral? How can I make you look at this side and this side at the same time? How can I do this process so I can help you, to be whole? Because I can't have one side of you. You can't be an asshole all the time. Oh, I hate people. I have a friend who talks about how he hates people. And I'm like, bro, you don't hate people. You hate the wrong people, but you don't hate people. It's fucking impossible for you to hate people. Stop saying shit like that. But he's not conscious of the way he speaks. Speech determines literally how your heart is functioning. Because what you say is what you're going to create. Now, the lack of awareness or emotional intelligence in those things that you're saying is going to cause, again, you to attract chaos into your life. Because you are not aware of why you need to be emotionally intelligent. You're thinking that if I just stop being an asshole all the time, and I'm not saying being an asshole is healthy. I'm just saying if you just stop and block off one half of your perception, you're not integrating the whole side. You're doing the complete opposite of that. You're walking around attempting to be positive the entire time, not knowing why you were negative in the first place. I encourage you to, again, go through the process to find when it was that you were doing the things to other people or to yourself that you don't like. People who aren't disciplined. When are you disciplined? When are you not disciplined? People who aren't respectful. When are you not respectful? Because there's time when you aren't respectful towards yourself. I'm telling you. There's always going to be a time. Next one. If you're addicted to peace, you attract war. And if you're addicted to protection, you attract aggression. This is called the law of complementary opposites. Please understand how this works. Understand how this works. There's a law. Complementary opposites. What this law is entailing, what this law is basically saying, is that if you are going to only attempt to see things one way, in a polarized way, you are going to attract, because of the simple fact the brain, the universe, has to be in balance. It's got to bring to you, it has to bring to you the opposite thing that you don't like. It has to bring it to you. It has to, by law, because you have to have, again, balance. I have to keep you with a neutral pH, 7.35 to 7.55. I have to keep you in a neutral state of homeostasis in order for your functions inside your body and your brain to work correctly. That is the power of polarity. So think about this in terms of voids, in terms of things that you think are missing. Back up here. In this book, Dr. John talks about this where he says, your perceived voids drive your set of values. Meaning whatever you perceive as most missing becomes the most important thing. Think about it in terms of love, a relationship. You can be broke on the floor with no money, no nothing, no house, no car, no nothing. If love is the thing that you are perceived that you don't have, you don't care about money, you don't care about food, you don't care about anything, you just care about love. That's the priority. I gotta find some love. How about if you do have love, but you don't have any money? You're gonna say money's the most important. How about spirituality, knowing who you are, why you're here? You can have everything in the world, yachts, mansions, properties all over the place, but you're still sitting there like your heart is empty without fulfillment because you need to know why, why, who made this whole thing, why am I here? There's always gonna be a void, and that void is gonna set yourself up for the priorities that you're going to have based upon your values. So what I want you to understand is that people have these skewed perspectives, okay? And they have this illusion where it's basically victimhood. It's not really victimhood, okay? He says in any area of your life where you don't empower yourself, somebody else overpowers you. And he gives an example. He says, if you don't develop your finances, somebody else will control you financially. How about if you don't develop your relationship? Somebody else will control it. Think about parents or families picking your spouse or your husband, or think about you going and running back to your homegirls or to your homeboys, talking crazy about your spouse or your partner, which you should never fucking do. You should go to them to talk about whatever things that you perceive as a problem. Talk to them about it. Talk to somebody who they ain't dating your husband or wife. Or maybe they are. Maybe that's your fucking problem because you weren't dating your husband or wife. Somebody's going to control every area where you don't take accountability and empower yourself. That's essentially what he was talking about. And I'm going to speak on victimhood because I can't stand victimhood. I used to be a victim and it was the most awful time of my life because I was speaking it in, not knowing I'm speaking it in. So it's not so much about what goes on in your outer world. Actually, it has nothing to do with what goes on in your outer world. It's what goes on in your inner world, because that environment shapes the outer environment. Now, people who live with a victim mentality, they may feel shocked from that statement, but it's more reflective understanding of how the truth really works. Okay, see, an ignorant person, a person who just is not knowing, a person who does not know, They're inclined to blame others for his own or her own misfortunes. To blame oneself is proof of progress, but the wise individual never has to blame another person or his or herself. You don't have to blame because you realize that this is how it works. This is from the philosopher Epictetus. Now, I'm going to talk about this especially because I'm hearing a lot about relationships and about divorce. And I think if you can look at what I'm going to say, because we're about to do this before we get out of here, I'm going to do this by determination with you again. When we love people for whom they are, they turn into who we love. Let's say this again. When we love people for who they are, they turn into who we love. When you try to project your value system onto them and expect them to be other than whom they are, they set you up for what is unwisely but commonly called betrayal. Now you feel betrayed by this person that you thought was going to be the person that you wanted them to be. This is what parents do. Whenever parents say, I want my kid to go to an Ivy League college and go be a 4.0 such and such and all this kind of stuff, and I want them to be a writer or a doctor or this, and then they haul off and do what they wanted to do. They feel betrayed. Ooh. That's called bad parenting. You don't project what you want them to do onto them. You just tell them whatever expectations that they have for themselves, push yourself as hard as you possibly can to achieve that. Not achieve what I desire you to do, but what you desire you to do. That is success for them. That's the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, like Earl Nightingale says. Now, betrayal is what? It's projecting your values and expectations onto somebody else and expecting them to live by your value systems. It's impossible, y'all. It's impossible. So your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, it's impossible. I'm just going to tell you right now. They're guaranteed to betray you because it's a projection of your values, not their own. It's you. It's coming from your mind, your head, your third eye, your imagery, your imagination, your ideas. It's coming from your mind, not their own. So then, others are not designed to live in your own values. They are committed to the fulfillment of their own values because they're here to be uniquely themselves, not unique copies of you. When you realize that other people have a set of values and you can only expect them to live by their highest values, you no longer set them up for betrayal. How about when you go to date somebody? You figure out what questions to ask them. You figure out where their hierarchy of values stands and if you are in alignment with that. Don't just be mesmerized by their aesthetics. They have nice tits, a nice chest, a nice ass, a nice legs, a nice face, a nice lips or body, whatever the fuck. Get over that shit because that's not it. They have that for a reason. Maybe that's a set of values. Or maybe it's because of society. Or maybe it's because of what they deem as approval. It may not be the reason why you think. Maybe you should ask. I didn't ask. I'm just going to be real with you. I had no idea. I thought everything was in full-on assumption. I saw this person. They looked fit. They looked, healthy and happy. I didn't know anything about subconscious in terms of parenting and how it transfers. I didn't know all what I know now today. If I knew that 13 plus years ago, maybe I would have made that choice. Maybe I would have made a better choice and picked somebody whose values aligned similar to my own. So, what I want you to understand in terms of values, in terms of other people, everybody has a trait. They have every trait. Every single behavioral trait they have. The essence is the same. The traits are the same, but you're unique in your expression of how you express those traits according to your own unique set of values. Now, what is wisdom? He talks about wisdom. Wisdom is knowing Everybody is like a holographic expression of the same essence, which means we all come from the same exact source, only in a unique form. We're all unique forms of the same exact source. That's pretty much what he's saying. So I need you to look at, again, this method that Demartini talks about. It's called the Demartini method. If you ever get a chance, look him up on YouTube. He does a lot of teachings on this thing. He's basically saying that the key is to identify where you display or demonstrate the same specific trait as does this other individual, as well as who perceives it in you. Who perceives you being a killer, a serial killer, an asshole, a liability? Who perceives you doing it and when? Go to the moments where and when you perceive yourself displaying or demonstrating this trait, past or present, and become aware of these previously unconscious instances and who perceives you doing it. Maybe your kids perceive you doing it, maybe your friends, maybe your spouse, and maybe your romantic partner. Whomever it is, you can realize that you are transparent. Other people see it, but they still interact and even love you. The next part he says is asking, what are the upsides? What are the benefits? Or the advantages of that event? Maybe you got raped, maybe you got molested, maybe you got assaulted, maybe you got in a fight, maybe you got left, maybe you got abandoned. That occurrence, that event, are there any upsides, any benefits? If you're trying to find a benefit when someone else is inconsiderate in their verbal and physical response to you, you might discover upon looking deeper. He says, well, it helped me to become more self-reliant because this person was inconsiderate in their verbal and physical responses to me. It helped me to learn how to communicate more respectfully in terms of their value systems. It helped keep me from relying on somebody unless I'm willing to sell them on the value of what I want them to do. Maybe somebody came and got in a physical altercation with you and you realized you were weak as fuck and you had to go up in the gym and put some muscle on and get self-defense class so you can take care of yourself. But you wouldn't have known if you didn't get your ass kicked. I'm just bringing you to the opposite end. You may not want to admit it. What I think people fail to realize, again, about emotional intelligence, is that all emotional intelligence really means is it means living congruently, meaning in alignment with your own highest and most intrinsic values. Otherwise, you will be living under extrinsic values, which again are the ones that you acquired maybe from your parents, society, or some ultimately irrelevant set of ideals, which will require outside motivation to get you to act upon them. That's the sad part. That's the sad part. All right. What we're going to do right now is we're going to get into a place where we're going to figure out how to figure out your values and why. Before you get into a relationship with anyone, you need to know these questions and these answers. Simple questions and simple answers, but be honest about them. And when you figure out, Demartini has 13 questions. He says, take your top 3 answers for each question and observe any pattern in your answers to determine your hierarchy of values. If you got values on this far end, your priorities do not match your partner's priority. I'm talking about you are on one end and they are literally on the opposite end. You're a fucking plant-based and they're a carnivore. You eat all kale, salads and shit, and they eat nothing but ribeye steaks. Realize it's not going to mesh very well, no matter the aesthetics. And don't lie. That's all I'm telling you. Please just be honest. Find a way to be free from masking and be honest. The first question, your intimate or personal space. Now, he talks about your intimate or personal space. He says up to 1.5 feet around you, your personal space, which is up to about 4 feet around you, social space, which is 12 feet around you, your public space, which is about 12 feet around you as well. He says, what items or objects or individuals do you fill your intimate, personal, or virtual space with the most? What do these items really represent to you or mean? What are they actually being used for the most? What is the primary purpose for them being here? This all goes to this first question of how do you feel your intimate or personal space the most? Now, what he means is that items that are not highly important to you are tossed around. They're placed distantly in the trash, like the attic or the garage. So old shoes, pictures, old things that you just don't use anymore. Look carefully at what you have in your home or office and see what you display in your most valued space. Maybe it's pictures of your kids, pictures of your dogs, trophies, certificates. So the things that you keep in your possession close by are somewhere that you frequently can sense or interact with them. You may even be wearing some of them. So look at how you fill your personal and professional space. If you walk into your home or company office space and look carefully, what would you see? Maybe a computer, maybe business materials, maybe business awards, certificates, books, sports trophies, again, design items, paintings, art, crafts, animals, books or magazines. You'll see books and magazines in my personal space all over the place. You see my iPad, you see my research, you see my writings. Several books on everything, from finances to retreats to organization to self-help, all types of things. Because I'm obsessed with human behavior and getting things right for people. Chemistry, physiology. So, second question is, how do you spend your time? Look carefully and accurately at how you spend your time. What are the 3 areas of life where you spend most of your time? And this is easy for people. Do you work 10 hours a day? Do you socialize for 4 hours a day? Do you read or study for 3 hours a day? Do you spend 3 hours a day with your kids? Do you spend hours shopping? Do you spend hours in the gym working out, doing yoga, training for 2-3 hours a day? Which one do you do? Just make sure you're honest. Make sure you're honest. This is a big decider, again, in relationships too. How you spend your time. 3, how do you spend what energizes you the most? So how do you spend your energy? What energizes you the most? What do you most easily and consistently find or have energy for? Is it being of service at work? Don't say it's a service or work because you don't want to go home because you're avoiding being home because your partner. That's not what we're talking about. It's solving problems that make a difference in other people's lives. That's what I spend my energy on the most. Is it working out, getting fit? I spend my energy second most on that. Socializing. Maybe is it cooking or entertaining for friends or for loved ones? Or is it shopping? Reading a great book? Let's go with number 4. Number 4, how do you spend your money the most? This is powerful too, because money is essentially your energy. Do you spend your money mostly on your home and on your security, on your stability? You spend it on your business development. How about assets, purchasing assets, investments? You spend it on clothes and accessories for your appearance, seeking attention maybe, or maybe you just do it because you like to do it. Do you spend it on specialized education, tutoring, mentoring, mentorship, coaches? Do you spend it on social activities or events? Do you spend it on entertainment? Think about how you spend your money. Number 5, where are you organized and ordered the most? Do you organize your social calendar? Do you organize your workout schedule? Do you organize your eating or your dietary regimen? Do you organize your clothes or your shoes closet? Is your house organized? Or is it clothes all over the floor, shoes all over the floor? Is it dirty or filthy inside of it? Are your finances organized? Do you have an organized business agenda and management routine? Do you have an organized cooking arrangement? Do you have organized management of your children? We're going to go to number 6, which is, where are you most disciplined, reliable, and focused? Is it your studies? Is it your workout routine? Is it your business? Is it your appearance? Is it your social media interaction? Is it your dietary or eating regime? Is it your business management or activities? These are just examples. All right, but look at the areas where you're most disciplined, where nobody has to get you up or remind you to do something or remind you to act. Okay? Number 7, what dominates your thoughts? Meaning, what do you inwardly think about the most? And this is to say, I'm not referring to, to momentary or distractions or self-depreciating thoughts. I'm talking about that. Talking to what you think about that you would love to fulfill and is gradually manifesting in your life. That's what I'm talking about. Your mind will repeatedly focus on the subject that has great meaning for you. So whatever is highest on your list of values, if you think about this again. Let's talk about number 8. What do you visualize the most? Is it continually expanding your education or your wisdom? How about traveling the world? How about earning more money? Dreaming about your family, your life, financial freedom, becoming wealthy, becoming a leader in your field of expertise, or leading or managing a great business, or meeting and socializing with amazing people. What do you visualize the most? Number 9, let's talk about what do you internally dialogue with yourself about the most? I mean, what do you talk to yourself about the most? You talk to yourself about what's most important to you. So what you keep talking to yourself about most is that you would love to come true for you. Something that you are showing evidence of coming true. And again, that's not negative self-talk or self-depreciating thoughts. It's just how you talk to yourself about how you would love your life to be that is showing fruits of your labor. Number 10, what do you talk most about with others the most? What do you most talk about in social settings? With other people. And that is like everyone else, you want to share, communicate what's most important to you. So again, we're realizing what's called a reference set or a preference set. You have a reference set, meaning things that you've already experienced, things that you can go back to and recall within your mind and your memory. Or your preference set, what do you prefer to have? You may have a Honda Accord, but you prefer to drive a Cullinan, a Rolls Royce. So you're going to go to the group with the Cullinans. You're not going to stay in a group with a Honda Accord. You're going to go where you prefer to go. Okay? Inspiration. What inspires you? This is pretty easy. What inspires you the most? Is it great moments of mastery? Is it when someone else or yourself conquers an amazing challenge or fear? I love that. That inspires me the most. Is it achieving a meaningful goal? Is it when a great leader or actor, performer, or thinker presents or performs their masterpiece? And when you hear meaningful lyrics on an amazing song, or when you're studying a particular topic and you feel like you solved the mystery? That's how I feel whenever I feel like I put something together and connected puzzle pieces of a dot. Think about this too, because if you value your children, you'll probably be inspired by your children's accomplishments. Or say about business, if you value your business, you'll probably be affected by or inspired by your business accomplishment. It makes it really, really simple when you start to see it after you're done. Number 12, what is your most consistent long-term goal? What this means is, think about this. What are your most consistent goals that you would love to fulfill? And how would you love your life to be? Those are the 3 things that you're going to write down. And last question is going to be, what do you love to learn about the most? This is pretty simple. What do you seek out in bookstores, newsletters, documentaries, online sources of information? What do you ask ChatGPT about? What do you want to learn? Now he says that you color code your answers. All 3 of your answers, just color code them. You have 39 answers. And what you want to do is go back to the answers, take colored marks or pencils, and you can basically do like a legend. Pink, red for books or business or assign the colors for each category. And then you'll be able to tally them up after that. And then you can basically see that you can rank them, and that's how you rank them. So next video, we're going to get into what he talks about as life summaries, and it's part of my Orgasmic Power transformation cycle. You will see I add and incorporated all these different parts, from detoxification all the way through the 7 mistaken goals, all the way through. I'll give you guys another overview. Not just that, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So how I'm going to show you all, and this is pretty cool. It's basically the Orgasmic Power. I don't know if you guys can see it in the screen, but it's the master transformation system. You guys will be able to see this. I'll put this. I'm actually going to post this probably on my site, on my YouTube, so you guys will be able to see it. And what this is basically telling you is there is a cycle. There's a pathway for you to do this. First of all, changing your biology, then your perceptions, then your values, then your identity, then your reality. I, last month, was about to put out my first become Orgasmic Power Challenge. So Orgasmic Power Challenge, where I was going to, basically show you how to raise your emotional intelligence, clear out, detoxify your mind, your body, everything like that, and become authentic, become whole, and show you guys and put you guys through the master transformation system. What happened was that the day before I was going to start this process, Jade, my beloved pit bull lab, Stafford, she had passed. And I was going to continue on anyway, but I felt that it was not going to be ideal. So what I decided to do was push it back a month. So now I will be going on May 30th to start the process off. And I believe this is going to be an epic thing for people to learn how to transform themselves, come back to balance and homeostasis, clear out their generational patterns of thought, negative thoughts, and you're going to be able to heal your 7 mistaken goals, heal your chakras. This is how I do it. It's all this pathway of 7. And once you get done with that, you're going to be able to achieve a new level of authenticity, and you'll be able to be a different person. So click the link in my description below. You will be able to see, and you'll be able to apply and sign up for it. The cost is $297. It's going to be a 5-day event, live virtual event. You guys will be taught how to ground yourself, detoxify yourself. I'll give you herbs that I use in my own formulas, exercises that I use in my transformation cycle, how to do things for subconscious, breathing, exercises, all types of things. You guys are going to learn everything, including also how to eat plant-based. I'll give you guys a week-long, a month-long program. And you guys can go into my free starter kit right now and put your email address in my website. You guys can get a free starter kit where you guys get a week-long plant-based meal plan, real meal preparation, Sundays and Wednesdays, and a shopping list. And also you guys will be able to get a Orgasmic Power Transformation workout plan. So it covers all of your 7 chakras. And what I'm helping you guys do is become your own therapist and therapist for somebody else, because you are the key. You are the technology. And we're going to learn. Biohacking is great, but I'd rather you be able to figure out how to do it and use your own faculties for yourself. You'll see that it's going to drastically transcend everything about your life. So if this video helped you guys become more fulfilled, become more authentic, realize what you're doing and seeing in somebody else and not seeing it in yourself. Again, like, share, subscribe, and until next time, see you guys later. Love y'all. Peace.